Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from asortofinterestinglife.com and today I've got a completely different sort of video for you. Now originally this was meant to be me posting a nice little trip through Kayak Tunnel for the first time ever by kayak, and I filmed the video footage you're about to see about 2 months ago, and it's meant to be, go through the tunnel, see all the beautiful scenery over the aqueduct, all the usual sorts of stuff. And unfortunately, it didn't quite turn out how I'd intended because a boat came up towards me through the tunnel, not seeing me, which was quite ironic and quite terrifying, and destroyed the composure that I had for the rest of the filming. I have got a lovely aqueduct crossing by kayak, which I will put a link into the description now, possibly a bit of footage on the screen. But yeah, I thought we'd just do an introduction and a general commentary over this footage, because it doesn't really make sense because it was filmed in such a disjointed way and didn't turn out at all how I had hoped it would. So ironically enough, the video begins originally with me talking about safety and making sure that you can be seen. I've got my super bright headlight torch, I've got 144 LEDs and 2 of those big 70 odd light strips on the kayak itself. And yeah, I was like, yeah, right, make sure that you've obviously got your buoyancy aid, life jacket, whatever you want to call it, all those usual sorts of safety things. And I repeatedly say, like, yeah, the last thing you want is for a boat to come down and not see you. And obviously, fate had a different plan lined up for me. As you can see, the trip all started as beautifully and calmly as expected. When we got to the entrance to Kayak Tunnel, took a moment to check there was definitely nothing coming down, which is pretty clear to see, and I think as you start to go in on this clip you can see out through to the other side. Like I say, everything's all lovely, and this is my first ever passing and it all goes well on this trip. Obviously though, when I get to the other side I have to come back downstream. So let's get into the actual darkness and see what that's like. And I'm pretty sure that you didn't expect it to just look like we were in a very dark tunnel with a little bit of light at the end. Yes, once again, like I say, I apologise this isn't the most exciting video ever. You can see, well, the light of the tunnel's wildly shaking from side to side. That's because the camera is fixed to the actual kayak itself, which I will remedy for the future with a helmet camera. Okay, so we are now in the absolute middle point of the tunnel. There's a lot of water leaking in through somewhere, but you may wonder, how can you possibly know if you're in the middle of the tunnel? Well, give me 1 second, it really is this dark in here, and I will show you that it's I don't know, I feel it's a little known fact, because you don't see it when you're walking and in the pitch black. But, I don't know if we just look behind me, if you can see, there are the arrows on the wall, which obviously indicate at this point we're at the equal centre part. And you can roughly gauge that by eye, looking up and down. But there's also 100 metre markers on Kayak Tunnel, either side obviously 100 metres from each end. A random thought before we go, you know, I'm sure it's probably taken me less time to get through on the kayak because I wasn't worried about obviously scraping along the sides or anything like that I normally am when I'm travelling through Kayak Tunnel on Tilly, or in fact any tunnel through on Tilly. And it's got to be said, I probably have made better time on the kayak than I have in an actual boat with, well, non-Dan Brown panic paddle power. Fascinating, I'm sure, for anybody watching this. And when we talk about boats coming towards you, flipping heck. Whew, now that's a terrifying moment. As I say, this is not at all what you want to see when you're in a tunnel. As you can see how far into the tunnel I was when it first appeared. And it's one of those moments where it's like, right, so I've literally done everything possible. I'm well lit. I've chosen the time of day that you don't see many boats going past in general. And still, I have managed to be caught out. And I assume, well, I saw one person walk up before this boat come in. And I assume that they had a quick look up the tunnel, saw that there wasn't a full huge boat-shaped object in there, and a quick glance didn't go, oh yeah, there might be someone else. And the light does tend to reflect along the water in a tunnel a certain way inwards, which can obviously, if I'm low to the water with me lights on, I assume that that's what it would have looked like rather than me in a kayak. but ultimately there's not much you can do about that. So as you can see, I had to squeeze down the side. Personally, I would have backed the boat out of the tunnel to just make sure that there was room and obviously not have somebody have to squeeze through, but it's no big deal, and because you know that there's a boat blocking the way, that nobody else is going to come in, so you're not going to have a big rush of water to squeeze you up against the wall. That's certainly not an ideal end to the trip. Anyway, just wanted to throw this little footage out there. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that completely random little video. Like I say, it's not a proper video. Unfortunately, I'm still recovering from a cold, so that's curtailed some of my podcast recording plans, as well as some of the longer speaking videos that I want to do. But, oh well. Hopefully next week I will have the usual flood of videos. I'll have a boat trip commentary for you, at least one, and plenty more stuff coming. I'm working on getting more fixie and kayak videos in general out, because there's been a lot of people requesting those recently, so hopefully you'll enjoy them. Anyway, let's wrap things up and say thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and check out my other videos for some proper narrowboat life videos and all the usual canal scenery that you would expect with them. Feel free to add me personally on Facebook and Twitter, and also like the Facebook page, and check out my books for the Kindle: The Narrowboat Lad Living the Dream, and The Narrowboat and a Notebook. Until the next time, have a fantastic day, keep it kayak worthy, and, well, farewell.